Pope Leo XIV. We have a lion on the throne of Peter. From Leo the Great, Leo XIII, one of the most, who wrote so many encyclicals, who taught, he had a major teaching office, dealt with so many subjects. And now we have Pope Leo XIV. And in this video, I'm going to try to make it, I mentioned most, not all, of these connections between Leo XIII and Leo XIV, our current Pope. It is undeniable. I mean, one can say this is miraculous. One can say that Pope Leo XIII indeed chose his successor. The connections are 5, 6, 7 connections between Leo XIII and Leo XIV. It's stunning. So I mentioned them previously. I'm going to mention them more succinctly now. And I'm going to add a couple more, which I didn't notice the first time. So we're going to go through the connections, because I truly believe it's not an accident, couldn't be an accident. And then for him to choose the name of Leo XIV with all these interconnections, with all these coincidences, it's not a coincidence. So again, it starts off when he was in September 1st, 1977. So he entered the Order of St. Augustine. And where did he enter the Order of St. Augustine? He entered it in the province of Our Lady of Good Counsel in Chicago. So Our Lady of Good Counsel in Chicago, this is where he entered in 1977, September 1st. Keep that in mind, because this Our Lady of Good Counsel has an immediate connection to Leo XIII. And again, as well, in 1987, or 1987, he was chosen as the prior of the Augustinian order, again in the Augustinian province of who? Our Mother of Good Counsel, which is Our Lady of Good Counsel, or Mother of Good Counsel, the Virgin of Good Counsel, in Olympia Fields, Illinois. So here's two connections immediately with him to Our Lady of Good Counsel. And what's the connection with Leo XIII? Profound. So Leo XIII. So Leo XIII himself was a member of the pious union of Our Lady of Good Counsel. And it says here that he was deeply attached to Our Lady of Good Counsel. And the small scapular of Our Lady of Good Counsel was presented by the hermits of St. Augustine to Leo XIII, who on December 1893 approved it and endowed it with indulgences. And on April 22nd, 1903, Pope Leo XIII included the invocation Mater Boni Consilii in the Litany of Loreto. So here you go. That is the first connection, the profound connection between Leo XIII and Leo XIV through Our Lady of Good Counsel. And after that, so that's connection number 1. Actually, it happened twice. Once with Our Lady of Good Counsel at the beginning of his novitiate, and then Our Mother of Good Counsel when he became the prior of the Augustinian order. I'm just kind of looking at some notes here. So, all right. And then, well, we're going to, of course, we know he studied at the Angelicum in Rome. And then in 1992 to 1999, he was assigned in Peru to a parish. He became the parish administrator of Our Lady of Montserrat Our Lady of Montserrat in Peru from 1992 to 1999. And what's so special? Where's the connection with Leo XIII? Well, here's another connection. So again, Our Lady of Montserrat, also known as the Virgin of Montserrat or La Moreneta. So it's associated with, anyways, it's venerated in Catalonia, Spain. And what's the connection with Leo XIII? Leo XIII, Pope Leo XIII, proclaimed Our Lady of Montserrat as the patron saint of Catalonia in 1881. Connection number 2, Our Lady of Good Counsel, twice with Leo XIV now, and Our Lady of Montserrat, once with Leo XIV now. And then, of course, Leo XIV, well, before he became Leo XIV, Robert Prevost was consecrated, ordained, if you want to use the current parlance, a bishop. He was consecrated a bishop in Peru. When was he consecrated a bishop? What is significant about the date of his consecration as a bishop? So he was consecrated as a bishop on December 12th in the Cathedral of St. Mary, again, the connection to the Virgin Mary, on when? On the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. On the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And what's the connection to Leo XIII of Our Lady of Guadalupe and Leo XIII? So that's the third time. It's the fourth time, but with 3 different Marian titles. So Pope Leo XIII, so it says here, he played a very significant role in honoring of who? Our Lady of Guadalupe. So in 1887, he granted a decree of canonical coronation for the image on a cloak tilma associated with the apparition. And the coronation occurred on October 12th, 1895. Further solidified the image's status as a revered symbol for the Catholic Church. So Pope Leo XIII granted a decree of canonical coronation for the image on 8 February 1887. That's another sighting. So here's another connection. So we have Our Lady of Good Counsel twice, connected with Leo XIII, added her name to the Litany of Loreto and the other things I mentioned with the scapular and so forth. Number 2, he was chosen as the parish administrator at Our Lady of Montserrat, again in association with Leo XIII, who proclaimed Our Lady of Montserrat as the patroness of Catalonia. And number 3, he was consecrated a bishop when on the feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, who Leo XIII again ordered the canonical decree of canonical coronation of the image on 8 February 1887. Well, it says here, one citation says 1885, one citation says 1887. But in any case, he did that order of the coronation of the Virgin of Our Lady of Guadalupe. Another connection with our current Holy Father, now I dare say Holy Father after Francis, with Leo XIV. All right. Okay, so, and after that, let's see here. Okay, this is done. Oh, I almost forgot this. This is very important before we go. So on, again, a further connection to Leo XIII. What is it? What's so amazing? It was the day Leo XIV got elected. The very day, May 8th. The day he got elected. He even mentioned that fact in his opening address and blessing and granting the indulgence to the people of Rome, in Rome, and in front of St. Peter's Basilica. And what was that? He mentioned that it was the day for the supplication of Our Lady of Pompeii. And who is Our Lady of Pompeii? The weird thing is, Father Zulsdorf, on his blog, personal blog, what the prayer really says, the day of the conclave, before Robert Prevost became Leo XIV, before his election was announced, he was saying, well, this is the day of the supplication of Our Lady of Pompeii. We should pray to her to give us a good pope. But what is the connection with Our Lady of Pompeii? So the connection is profound, actually. So this devotion to Our Lady of Pompeii, which is actually Leo XIII. So there was this man called Bartolo Longo. He was evil. He rejected the faith, rejected the church. Anyways, got converted. And then him and this Countess Mariana di Fusco inaugurated the Confraternity of the Holy Rosary. And I'm going to get to the Rosary in a second too. And on October 1873, they started restoring a very ruined church, and they sponsored the festival in honor of Our Lady of the Rosary. And then he brought this image of Our Lady of Rosary and the image of Our Lady of Pompeii. Remember, this is what Pope Leo XIV said. Remember, this is the supplication of Our Lady of Pompeii at his inaugural. Watch my previous video, because in the previous video I basically analyzed his history, his first speech in detail, his homily in detail, his first homily to the cardinals in detail. It's an hour and 40-minute video, so it's far more detailed. So I don't want to repeat what I already said. But this one I did not mention. This image of Our Lady of Pompeii, what is it? What is this image of the Mother of God? So it's actually Our Lady of the Rosary. So Longo, the promoter of this devotion, obtained a painting portraying Our Lady of the Rosary with two characters, Saint Dominic and Saint Catherine of Siena. Saint Dominic and Saint Catherine of Siena. And what's so significant? Well, we have Our Lady of Pompeii, Saint Dominic. And where did Robert Francis Prevost, Leo XIV, study in Rome for his doctorate in canon law? At the Angelicum, at a St. Dominic University, a Dominican university. And in this image of Our Lady of Pompeii, the day he got elected, we have Mary, Mother of God, St. Dominic, the Angelicum where he studied, and St. Catherine of Siena. And of course, if we remember, well, let's deal with St. Catherine for a second. We're going to get to Leo XIII in 2 seconds. Because St. Catherine of Siena in 1376, she told Pope Gregory XI to leave Avignon, where we had the Avignon Papacy, to leave Avignon and return back to Rome, because this is the center of Christianity. And then, of course, after the start of the Great Western Schism, which lasted 70 years, and when we had 2 popes and then we had 3 popes, and so she acted as the champion for the true pope of the Roman obedience, and she supported Urban VI, and she worked very hard until she actually died at the age 33 from a massive stroke. For a young woman to have a massive stroke at 33, it's quite amazing, anyways. But yeah, so she worked for the true Pope against the anti-popes. She championed the real Pope against the fake popes. And that makes you think about something which happened for the last 12 years when we had two popes. Both called Holy Father, both called Holiness, both dressed in white. And I think only Benedict gave the apostolic blessing. I'm not sure if Francis ever did. Anyways, so here's the image of Our Lady of Pompeii. It has so it has the image. So it's Our Lady of the Rosary. It's the image of Our Lady of the Rosary. And it has St. Dominic on one side and St. Catherine of Siena on the other side. So we had the Dominican, Angelicum University, Catherine of Siena, who championed the true Pope against the anti-popes. And for those who watch a lot of my videos, you know what I'm hinting at here. And the thing is, and this feast was founded, the date of it was chosen on the same date of St. Michael, the devotion to St. Michael the Archangel. So St. Michael the Archangel's feast occurred on that day. It's the feast of the apparition of St. Michael the Archangel. Angel was chosen specifically for the feast of Our Lady of Pompeii as well. And Pope Leo XIII granted an indulgence for this feast. And Pope Leo XIII is the one, after a horrific vision he had of Satan trying to destroy the Church of God, he himself is the one who composed for us the prayer to St. Michael the Archangel. So we have Leo XIII composing the feast, the prayer of St. Michael the Archangel. The feast of Our Lady of Pompeii, the supplication of Our Lady of Pompeii, was designed and was chosen to fall on the feast of the apparition of St. Michael the Archangel. And more to do with Pope Leo XIII with this Our Lady of Pompeii. He's like, and first of all, so Leo XIII himself suggested that this Longo marry the countess which helped him build the church. So Leo XIII suggested that, and then there was a move to get this Bartolo Longo, to get him a peace prize for all his works of charity and trying to stop wars, and even it was supported by Pope Leo again the 13th. But he didn't get any because they said, oh, that was just for religious motivation. So basically, since we're an atheistic society, Nobel Peace Prize, we don't want to give you something because it's about religion. So again, Leo XIII supported that. And another connection with Leo XIII, actually the church that built for Our Lady of Pompeii, the newly renovated, restored church, was consecrated on May 1891 by Cardinal La Valletta, representing who? Pope Leo XIII. And this church was called, in 1939, the church was enlarged to a basilica, known today as the Basilica of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary of Pompeii. So it's Our Lady of the Holy Rosary of Pompeii. And so now we have another connection. So we did the Our Lady of the Pompeii and then the Holy Rosary. And what's the connection of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary to Leo XIII? One more time. So Leo XIII is known as the Rosary Pope because he really promoted the prayer of the Rosary during his pontificate. And he wrote a ton of encyclicals, I think 10 or 11 just on the Rosary. And what's more significant, Leo XIII established the Feast of the Queen of the Holy Rosary in 1883. So he established the Feast of the Queen of the Holy Rosary in 1883. That's Leo XIII. And in addition, Leo XIII again added the name of Queen of the Most Holy Rosary to the Litany of Loreto. Again, one more time, one more connection to Leo XIII. because Our Lady of the Rosary is the name of the church of Our Lady of Pompeii on the day Leo XIV was elected. And if you recall, if you ever read Our Lady of Fatima in 1917, the children asked her, what do you want us to call you? So she told them, call me Our Lady of the Rosary, or Queen of the Holy Rosary. So basically now we have Fatima, Our Lady Fatima, connection to the election of Leo XIV, because she herself specifically said, call me Queen of the Most Holy Rosary or Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. So she did a connection to that, which is connected to the day of the election of Leo XIV. Oh, I forgot about that one. Oh, I don't have a tag open, but that's okay. You can go look it up on YouTube. Yesterday, the first day after his election, what did Pope Leo XIV do? First thing he went to visit, the first shrine he visited was the shrine of Our Lady of Good Counsel, which we dealt with at the beginning. And it has a profound connection with Leo XIII. First shrine, Marian shrine to visit, he visited Our Lady of Good Counsel. It's a beautiful video. Just watch it on YouTube with all the little villages, and all the villagers are lovely. There, everybody is so excited for this Pope. All the faithful. They feel there is a true shepherd, not a destroyer, on the throne of Peter. A true vicar of Christ, not just a bishop dressed in white. Yeah, watch. So first visit, he went to see Our Lady of Good Counsel. And of course, he visited as well, just stood in front of Franciscus's tombstone, his slab there on the floor in St. Mary Major. And as an aside, today, there was, or was it yesterday, a massive traditional Roman Rite, so-called Latin Mass in St. Mary Major, in the face of Francis Jorge Bergoglio, who forbade that liturgy. So in his face, in that church, he must have been, twirling in his tomb there. But anyways, that's just an aside. See, I don't want to forget anything important. Okay. And the latest news, boys and girls, is that Pope Leo XIV is going to live where the popes have always lived for hundreds of years, the Papal Palace, the Papal Apartments. And the Papal Palace is not just a one-man show. It has the Vatican Museum, it has the Sistine Chapel, it has Vatican offices. It's a huge complex. So he will be living in the Papal Palace again. And I just noted it this morning. You open up to VaticanNews.va. They just broke the seal of the Papal Apartments after the Regina Coeli, which he just sung beautifully in Latin and gave the blessing in Latin. Beautiful. We have a true Pope on our hands, boys and girls. And not just because it's Latin, he's restoring tradition. He's preaching the faith. And he was it on this speech or a previous speech, he was talking about openness and welcoming everybody in the truth. That's the key word, in truth, or in the truth. It's not just open to welcoming in error. No, in the truth. This morning, it says here, seals removed from the Papal Apartments of the Apostolic Palace. The reopening of the Papal Apartment took place following the Regina Coeli in the presence of Camerlengo Cardinal Ferro, the Secretary of State Cardinal Parolin, the substitute Archbishop Peña Pera, and the Secretary of Relations with the States Archbishop Gallagher, and the Regent of the Papal Household Archbishop Sapienza. At the conclusion of the Regina Coeli prayer from the loggia of the of the blessing on 11 May, Pope Leo XIV had, so Pope Leo XIV himself had the papal apartment of the Apostolic Palace reopened with the removal of the seals that had been placed there during the afternoon of 21 April following the death of Pope Francis. And this was a fake sealing of the apostolic apartment, papal apartments. It's a fake sealing because Jorge Bergoglio, publicly known as Francis the Humble, the Pope of the people, died in Santa Marta, most probably. He lived at the hotel in Vatican City. He lived at the hotel because he was not worthy of living where the popes live, and died at the hotel. And I'm pretty sure his room, like in the movie Conclave, where it takes all place in Santa Marta, is sealed at the hotel. So they did it, I guess, out of tradition. They sealed the papal apartments in the Apostolic Palace, even though Jorge never stepped a foot in there to live in there as Pope. He knew who he was and who he was not. So now the papal apartments are opened again, unsealed again, where the Vicar of Christ, the successor of the Prince of the Apostles, the servant of the servants of God, the supreme pastor of the universal church, will live one more time. And last but not least, the Vatican yesterday posted on X, and actually you can go to the Vatican News.va, you'll see the official portrait of Pope Leo XIV with his signature at the bottom. And how does he sign his name? He signs his name Leone P.P., Pope and Pontiff the 14th. Leone P.P. 14. Leo, Pope and Pontiff the 14th. Like Benedict, Pope and Pontiff the 16th. Like Paul, Pope and Pontiff the 6th. Like John Paul II, Pope and Pontiff. John Paul, Pope and Pontiff the 2nd. Unlike that person buried in St. Mary Major, who is just simply called Francis. There is a difference, ladies and gentlemen. And he actually went today as well to visit the tomb of Pope Benedict XVI, Pope Pius XII, Paul VI, John Paul I, St. Pius. There's a video of him visiting all the tombs in the Vatican, in St. Peter's, and then visited, of course, the tomb of the Prince of the Apostles, St. Peter himself, in St. Peter's. And you see the profound. Now, will give him a profound connection to the popes, to tradition, to St. Peter himself. And that's, I think, all the connections I could come up with. But they are massive. There is no accident. So his connection since he was a child with Leo XIII, since he was a young man, non-stop. Leo XIII, Leo XIII, Leo XIII, Leo XIII. Our Lady of Good Counsel, Our Lady of Montserrat, Our Lady of the Rosary, Our Lady of Pompeii, Our Lady of Guadalupe, all have profound connections with Leo XIII. The day he got elected has a profound election with Leo XIII. And the first day he goes, he visits Our Lady of Good Counsel, profound connection with Leo XIII. So maybe Pope Leo XIV will be the one to canonize Pope Leo XIII, where we actually have a traditional, orthodox, uncompromising Pope who fought communism, socialism, the abuse of the poor, promoted the Rosary. He combated secret societies, promoted true Christian states, true liberty, not a license, but liberty, not license. There is a difference. maybe Pope Leo XIV will be the one to canonize the one with whom he had this connection for a lifetime. That's it. That's all. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Do like and subscribe to the channel. Do comment and do share. Share the good news. We have a true Pope. We have a Pope with a profound connection to a strong, faithful predecessor, Leo XIII. Okay, that's it. See you next time. Bye-bye.